this video, we going to answer the one of the most important question, that is how to make that personality which is needed for SSB. वो personality कैसे बनाए? ना मैं टेट के बारे में बात करूंगा, ना वेट के बारे में, ना एसआरटी के बारे में, ना ही पर्सनैलिटी, ना कुछ और. मैं सिर्फ और सिर्फ पर्सनैलिटी बनाने की बात करूंगा. टेट वेट एसआरटी तो अपना आप हो जाएगा अगर पर्सनैलिटी परफेक्ट बन गई तो. सो वी गोना टॉक अबाउट दैट इन डिटेल. एंड उसमें मेरे साथ दे रहे हैं एयर कोमोडो विकास पटनायक. वो अनअकैडमी पे अभी एक असेसर हैं और उनका ही जो पर्सनैलिटी कोर्स है ना, वहां से ही मैं सारी चीज़ें उठा के लेकर आया हूँ, पॉइंट्स जो डिस्कस करने हैं. तो वो प्रीमियम कोर्स था, मैं वहां से फ्री में आपके लिए लेकर आया हूँ. बट अगर आपको इनका कोर्स देखना हो इसके बाद, बिकॉज यू गेट अ लॉट ऑफ नॉलेज, तो मैंने उसका लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में डाल दिया है. कूपन कोड और बाकी सारी जो डिस्काउंट वाली चीज़ें वो भी मैंने डाल दी डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में, आप वो जाके दे सकते हो. बस एक बात बता दूं, 30 जून तक आपको 30% डिस्काउंट मिला और उसके बाद आपको 10% मिलेगा. बस इस बात का ध्यान रखना. मेक श्योर यू टेक द कोर्स राइट ऑन अगर आपका एसएसबी आ रहा है. अब मैं आपसे आगे जाके बात करता हूं, पर एयर कोमोडो विकास पटनायक सर के बारे में कुछ बता दूं मैं आपको. वो बहुत ही सीनियर साइकोलॉजिस्ट हैं. And when such a senior psychologist reject to talk about TED, VET, SRT and talking only about personality, that means कोई बात तो है जो हम मिस कर रहे हैं. So please make sure you listen to his word very carefully. Jain sir.
जैन
Sir, right now I have a person who is a air commodore. कभी रहे हैं 3 decades से ज़्यादा आपने सर्व किया है. And air commodore is ranked way high. Is a more above than group captain. एंड सर आपका ऑफिसर सिलेक्शन ड्यूटीज में, ट्रेनिंग में, डेवलपमेंट में भी हाथ रहा है. यू आर एसोसिएटेड विद DIPR ऑल्सो. आज की तारीख में मैनेजमेंट के साथ भी हो आप, कॉलेज मैनेजमेंट भी हो. यू आर टीचिंग अबाउट द पर्सनैलिटी ओवर देयर ऑल्सो एंड ऑल्सो ऑन अकेडमी. आई हैव लॉट ऑफ क्वेश्चन टू यू सर. मेरा सबसे पहला सवाल सिंपल सा सर यही है कि वाई द साइकोलॉजी टेस्ट इज इंपॉर्टेंट. कई बच्चे तो SRT छोड़ देते हैं सर, कई बच्चे वैट कहीं छोड़ के आ जाते हैं. अगर ये इतना इंपॉर्टेंट है तो आप छोड़ना परमिट कैसे कर रहे हो? इनको सीधे बाहर निकालना चाहिए.
Coming to your question, Shubham, about the importance of psychology. What you have to understand and what our aspirants have to understand is that psychology is a different kettle of fish. In psychology, the assessments are not quantitative, meaning it is not like a test in mathematics where there are 10 questions, you do 5 right and you end up with 50% marks. It is nothing of this sort. The assessments are qualitative based on the responses given by the candidates. And the other important aspect to be understood is that in psychology there is no such thing as a right answer, a wrong answer, a good answer, a perfect answer, a bad answer. All responses are reflections of your personality. That's how the system is designed to work. And you specifically asked about the fact that many candidates don't attempt all the words in the WAT or all the situations in the SRT. Well, to that, my answer is that the words which are left or the situations which are not answered, they also convey something. Those blanks also convey some aspects about the candidate. For example, the word in TAT is failure, and the candidate is unable to construct or generate any idea in the form of a sentence. That also conveys something. It is a different matter that out of 60, a few are left out because of lack of time. That's a different issue. But if there are too many blanks and too many situations have been omitted altogether, they tell their own story. And that, of course, is for the psychologist to find out, because what is more important is what is left out. Not the fact that it is left out, but what particular situation or the word is left out.
Fair enough, sir. You are working on the quality, but suppose a student only answered 2, तो भी आप क्वालिटी पे देखेंगे इन दो वर्ड्स के आंसर पे या 2 TAT पे.
Answering such a minuscule number would be a non-starter.
सर समझ नहीं आई मेरे को बात. मैं थोड़ा कंफ्यूज हूँ. being a civilian, I am completely confused. आपका जजमेंट जो हो रहा है वो हो रहा है पर्सनैलिटी पे. आप कह रहे हैं मेरे को नंबर से फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा, हमें क्वालिटी से मतलब है. इतना छोटा भी नहीं चाहिए कि हम समझ ही नहीं पा रहे हैं। तो फिर राइट रिस्पॉन्स है क्या? मैं तो 15 भी सुने हैं सर, कई बच्चों ने एसआरटी 15 भी किए हैं।
See, I will answer it in another way so that you can understand and your aspirants can understand. Every response conveys something, even a blank conveys something. Okay? Because the blank is in which particular word or situation that conveys something. Ideally speaking, a candidate is expected to attempt all of them, whether it is WAT, SRT, TAT, whatever. All of them he is supposed to attempt. But if he attempts far too less, and in those the psychologist is not able to get any worthwhile inputs, it would again be detrimental to the candidate. So the candidate has to attempt and keep the target as all of them. Well, if he is genuinely foxed, or if he is genuinely unable to write something on a particular situation, obviously he'll leave it blank. Be that as it may, but everything conveys a particular facet of his personality, and the overall assessment is based on not one test, not two tests, but all the tests, including the last one, which is the self-description.
Okay.
So no judgments are made exclusively on few responses alone. It is a complete picture which emerges at the end of reading and analyzing the entire dossier.
Fair enough, sir. Fair enough. You have a 3 decade of experience as an officer, and I like to ask you one simple question, which by your experience you have gained some knowledge. There are 3 categories of students who fail in SSB. What are they, sir? ये क्या है सर? आप वो knowledge क्या है सर? क्या reason है उनका?
The first category is of those candidates who do not possess the officer-like qualities at all, or in measure which is far too low to even go for a complete evaluation. They too should not lose heart. They too can improve and mold their personality accordingly with guidance and perseverance. The second category is of those candidates who have some potential, but unfortunately they cannot showcase it, they cannot demonstrate it. Because, Shubham, what matters in the Services Selection Board at the end of the day is demonstrated performance. So it is obvious to the assessors that they have some potential, but they are not able to bring out and showcase that potential. The reasons could be many. It could be because of anxiety, it could be because of nervousness, it could be because of lack of exposure. Many candidates come to the SSB and they are out of their comfort zone for the first time in their life. So they are overwhelmed by that experience. So those candidates who are unable to showcase, they too have a chance. They can also refine, prepare, practice, and come back.
Okay.
Now the interesting part is the third category
Yes.
of candidates who are not recommended. It consists of those candidates who have the potential, who are capable of demonstrating it, but for some very strange reason, they are victims of misconceptions. And what they are demonstrating is not the real personality. They are trying to be something which they are not, with the thought that what they are projecting will impress the SSRs. But SSRs, being what they are, with their vast experience, they can make out that this response is not his genuine response, but it's a contrived response just in order to try and please me. But this man, this candidate, has got potential, and if he had actually been demonstrating his own real personality, that would have been good enough. So one feels sorry for them. But this is largely because of misconceptions which are there in the environment. For instance, there is a common misconception about being positive. Everybody says be positive, positive, positive. Now, if the picture in the PPDT is showing some untoward incident, and it's quite obvious, suppose there is an accident scene, or there is some situation where somebody is getting hurt, and the mood is written as positive. When they are asked that how do you perceive this situation as positive, they say, no, we have been told that everything has to be positive. Similarly, in their other responses in the TAT, WAT, and SRT. So that is the third category.
Okay, that's fair enough. So, and I got the fair idea. I'm still not very clear. Now, you have three phase of experience. You once be आप मेरी तरह एक कैंडिडेट थे, हम लोग सबकी तरह कैंडिडेट थे. You serve up to the rank of Air Commodore, बहुत बड़ी रैंक है. You serve as an assessor too. Now you're teaching on an academy, and you're guiding students also in the management college also.
Yes.
You have seen all the three phases. Now I'm 200% sure you have a very clear cut idea कि यहाँ पर बच्चा गलत हो रहा है. I remember आपने मुझे बताया था on a call that अगर आप वो साइकोलॉजी की जो रिपोर्ट होती है ना, इसमें टेड, वेट, SRT, SG सब होते हैं 16 पेजेस. Those 16 pages tell actually the X-ray of that personality. So what actually a student should do to make that personality? वो तो बनना चाहता है ना ऑफिसर, चाहे वो गांव का हो, चाहे शहर का हो, चाहे मिडिल क्लास हो, चाहे अपर क्लास हो, चाहे लोअर क्लास हो, तो उसको नहीं समझ में आ रहा सर.
Well, it's like this. Everybody wants to succeed.
True.
Nobody attempts with the aim of, failing in something, and nobody likes to fail. But the fact is that we do fail sometimes, and it's a natural thing, and we learn from our failures. But when I say that a kind of an X-ray is extracted after evaluating the candidate and all the responses which are contained in those 16 pages, the psychologist gets a deeper insight into the candidate's personality with respect to those qualities which are being evaluated in the SSB, precisely known as the OLQs. Now, these 15 qualities could be of different levels. I mean, his intellectual qualities could be of one level, his social qualities, leadership qualities, dynamic qualities, they would be of different level and different sort of potential. But at the end of the day, we want somebody who is reaching up to a minimum, who is trainable, who with the help of the training which is going to be imparted would reach the desired standard. And your question was, how should one develop it? I can answer this question in a very technical way. I can answer it in a manner which is using our colloquial phrases. Which one would you like?
So simple.
I will go by your
Simple one. Simple one.
Simple. Okay.
Simple one.
So I will tell you 5 words which our listeners can also note down. This is, I would call it a sort of a roadmap to success in all your endeavors, especially SSB. Number 1, homework. The first word or the first phrase is homework. This homework is not what you are getting in the school, what the teacher gives you, not that homework. Here, homework means preparation and planning. Somebody wants to become a doctor, he should know what it takes to become, what are the exams, what is the syllabus, how to prepare, so on and so forth. So for success in life, the first thing you have to do is to do planning and preparation, which I am calling homework. Next, hard work. Just knowing the requirements is not good enough. You have to be at it. You have to be consistent. You have to work hard, because there is no shortcut to success. And there is no such thing as instant success. So there we are on the hard work. The next is teamwork. In today's world, irrespective of the organization in which you work, and more specifically the armed forces, teamwork matters a lot. Your success matters on how good a team player you are, how good a team leader you are, how much you contribute in a team, how much your influence is seen amongst the members of the team, how much you can motivate, and so on. So homework, hard work, teamwork. Next comes smart work. Smart work is not a substitute for hard work, but it is the capability of correct prioritization. Each one of us has got multiple tasks at hand. Can you prioritize? Can you decide which is more important, which is second important, third, fourth? So for a person preparing for the SSB, he has to prioritize. He knows that my communication skills are weak, so I should give more emphasis on it. So this prioritization comes under the category of smart work. Homework, hard work, teamwork, smart work, and finally, network. Network is the mantra for today's success in today's so-called rat race. Here, network is for collaboration, for cooperation, for synergy, for conserving your resources and optimizing your effort. So if a person can follow this roadmap, homework, hard work, teamwork, smart work, network, he should be successful in his endeavors.
सर प्लीज डू नॉट माइंड विद ऑल ड्यू रिस्पेक्ट सर, ये हम स्कूल से सुनते आ रहे हैं.
But it is still valid.
चलिए सर, मैं थोड़ा सवाल को थोड़ा और ट्विस्ट एंड टर्न करके पूछता
In fact, Shubham, if you don't mind,
Yes, sir.
may I say something?
हूँ. यस सर प्लीज.
As you go ahead in age, the things which you never appreciated in school, you start appreciating them. The reason is the import of those things, the significance of those things dawns upon you much later in life. And no one can dispute the fact that hard work can be omitted, shortcuts can be taken, and success can be obtained overnight. You have yourself given SSB several times, you know better than me that things are not as easy as they seem. One has to work for it.
ओके, स्टिल आई वांट टू ट्विस्ट द क्वेश्चन थोड़ा और बारीकी
Sure.
से लेकर आते हुए.
I would welcome it.
Okay. Sir, I remember few words more of yours, and those are कि Shubham, when we assess, we look in the 4 areas. The number 1 is intellectual, second is social, third leadership, and the 4th dynamic, which actually in the short form we have sent 15 WQ.
That's true.
Now these 4 things जो आपने कहा है बहुत short and precise way में कर दी गई हैं. How it is even practically possible if you imagine as a foreigner, every Indian guy has. You live in a culture where diverse culture and everything is there. Culture, religion is there. Intellectuality is higher because we are not that developed nation that we have everything on our hand. Social adaptivity must, वो तो मैंने आपको बोल ही दिया, leadership should be there. Most of the families have either joint or nuclear family, even are the big one, are not small one. The grandparents come and go there. ऐसा हो ही सकता है अपॉर्चुनिटी ना हो आपके पास. एंड द डायनेमिक नेचर इज अ पार्ट ऑफ इट. हमारा जितना डायनेमिक नेचर स्कूल सिस्टम का है जितना तो कहीं भी नहीं होगा शायद. मानता हूँ रट्टा फिकेशन है, बट डायनेमिक नेचर अभी भी है हमारे यहाँ. आप गली डंडे से लेके क्रिकेट पे जाइए या किसी भी खेल में जाइए, कुछ ना कुछ तो खेला ही होगा उसने. ऐसा तो हो ही सकता ना खेला हो. तो आइडियली तो एवरी इंडियन शुड बी इन द इंडियन आर्म फोर्सेस एज एन ऑफिसर एंड देयर शुड बी नो शॉर्टेज ऑफ इट.
Shubham, going by your logic, as you say, every Indian should be in the armed forces as an officer if he desires to be in that particular role. If you extend that logic, everyone should be a doctor. Whoever wants to be a doctor should be a doctor. Whoever wants to be a corporate leader should be a corporate leader. Whoever wants to be a unicorn leader with a startup, he should be a unicorn. But you are aware that for every 100, the success rate is less.
I know.
The reason is,
Yes.
the reason is,
जी.
intelligence has got nothing to do with the development scale of your country. Intelligence has got everything to do with your ability to think rationally, think logically, to be able to find solutions to day-to-day problems, to some familiar problems, to some complex problems. Intelligence has got everything to do with your ability to recognize resources, to muster resources, to organize resources. And finally, to put everything together and take decisions based on sound reasoning. So, everyone scores differently on an intelligence test. Would you agree to that? Or everybody scores identical?
I agree on that, sir.
So if there is an OIR, someone is OIR 1, somebody is 2, 3, 5, it shows that there is a difference in the level of intelligence. In the case of OIR, it is a basic intelligence. But other than OIR, rest is practical intelligence. You might be a mechanical engineer. You tell me a farmer who works in the farm, has he attended a engineering college? Is he a mechanical engineer? But he uses the resources in his farm to get things done. He uses the bullock carts. He uses a pulley to pull water out of the well. So that is as far as intelligence is concerned, it can be developed. Everything can be developed, provided there are three things I had mentioned to you: willpower, guidance, and application. The second was social skills. You see that everyone has different social skills. Some people are charming by their very presence. Would you agree with that?
True.
Some
true,
people are charming, they get along very well with everyone. Whereas there are others who have a problem in getting along with anybody and everybody. In your colony, you will have one uncle, I'm sure, who is fighting all the time with everybody. And you will have one uncle who is friendly with everybody, and everybody talks very well of him. So our social skills also are important. The way you communicate, the way you act, the way you interact with each other, your peers, your superiors, your subordinates. And leadership qualities, of course. A military leader is required to have those. What are those? Taking initiative, confidence, ability to influence a group, and how quickly you can take decisions, how lively a person you are, because a leader will face difficult situations. And finally, dynamic qualities, which is about your ability to face various degrees of risk. That's the nature of military job.
Fair enough, so fair enough. अगर आप लीडर पहले से ही बना रहे हैं, मतलब ले रहे हैं लीडर, then what is job of IMA, OT, NDA then? मुझे समझ नहीं आई बात.
Well, what we are taking is a raw material who has potential to be refined, to be crafted, to be molded as a capable leader. Okay? In the same way in which you take a raw diamond. Well, the diamond is always there, but you have to craft it.
Okay.
You have to mold it into something which is of value.
Okay. One more twist and turn I like to go with these will give only.
Yes.
The Paravi Chakra, Mahavir Chakra, Shaurya Chakra. They are extraordinary.
Well, to be honest, there was a study carried out at some point in time in the past to find out if those people who have won laurels and various gallantry awards and so on and so forth, were they exceptional in their own SSB? The result was rather surprising. They were average. They were not below average, they were average or above average, but nothing exceptional. The reason is when you join the armed forces, there is what we call Jazba, Josh, Junoon, there is a regimental spirit, there is a camaraderie, there is esprit de corps. All these things galvanize you into performing way beyond the expectations, where you lay down your life. There can be nothing bigger than that. So the credit goes to your being capable to start with, and then you are rising to the occasion when the occasion so demands, and willingly giving the ultimate sacrifice. And there are innumerable examples. I don't have to narrate them.
Okay, I agree on that. But sir, मैं भी क्या ये भी कंफ्यूज होंगे कि अभी मेरे को तैयारी करनी कैसे. You have tell a very good formulas, but those in our because we are young. आपने कहा बड़े होते जाएंगे समझ में आएगा.
That's why I had asked you whether you wanted me to tell in a very technical way, or you wanted me to tell in a manner in which it can be it's palatable for everyone.
नहीं sir.
But personality, let me also clarify, Shubham. Personality is so complex a subject that one lifetime is not enough to fathom the depths of this subject. I am still a student of personality. I will remain a student of personality throughout my life. Though I have done MBA twice over, though I have a number of degrees, I have studied personality, I have done actual evaluation, but I am still a student because new research takes place, new developments take place, new subjects are added in personality. So it is a learning curve all the time.
ओके, फेयर इनफ सर. स्टिल देर इज, मैं शायद गलत बोल रहा हूँ तो आप मुझे टोक दीजिएगा सर. 3 थिंग्स विच नीड टू बी डेवलप, एंड आई थिंक दिस हर ऑफिस में होती है एटीट्यूड में. आई थिंक दिस सेल्फ स्टीम, सेल्फ एनालिसिस, एंड देयर वन आई ऑल्सो देयर. ये क्या 3 चीज़ें हैं जो कि मतलब वो ऑफिसर में होती ही होती हैं. आई नेवर सीन एन ऑफिसर कि इन तीनों के बिना हो, विद द रैंक ऑफ लेफ्टिनेंट और विद द रैंक ऑफ जनरल. विद द ऑनर था सर मेरे लिए कि जनरल वीके सिंह से उन्हीं के स्कूल में, बिरला पब्लिक स्कूल में जाके मिला हूँ.
Okay.
द वे बैक इन 2010, जो वो जब थे
Nice.
करीबन दैट पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, वो मेरा ऑनर था. पर मैंने कभी भी एक लेफ्टिनेंट उसमें कभी डिफरेंशिएट देखा ही नहीं. ये तीनों चीज़ें हैं.
Yeah, you see,
वो क्या है ये?
a military officer, irrespective of the color of the uniform he wears, whether it is olive green, whether it is blue, or it is white, there is a particular mold. Let us call it a mold. We are all cast in that mold. What we learn in the academy, the values, the ethos, and the desire and determination to perform at all costs. And history is testimony to this. The Indian Armed Forces has performed right from the First World War down to the latest. Whenever they were called upon, they performed way beyond their expectations. It is not a mean thing that we earned many Victoria Crosses in many of the wars and continue to do acts of gallantry even today. So self-esteem, you asked. Self-esteem is a very basic thing. What does self-esteem mean? That you value yourself, that you consider yourself worthwhile. If a person does not have self-esteem, the world will not consider him worthwhile. So that is the starting point. So self-esteem, all military officers have self-esteem. They have pride in the uniform. They have pride in their organization. They have pride and great respect for the unit they are serving, and so on. But for the benefit of the SSB aspirants, I would like to give them 3 things by way of principles or mantras, which are foresight, hindsight, and insight. Foresight means they should have the ability to think ahead, to plan ahead, to foresee. Foresight. Only then you can prepare. Hindsight, because you should have the ability to analyze your past mistakes and learn from them, so that you don't repeat it again and again. And finally, insight, you should know where you stand. Only then you can improve. If you have to go to a place X, first of all, you have to determine your own current position. And then you can chart out that from my current position to the destination X, this is the route.
Okay, fair enough,
So
sir. I
foresight,
like to stop
insight,
you over there. I like to take a
and
pause
hindsight.
over there, sir. I'm really sorry, sir. I like to take a pause of yours, sir.
Sure.
Sir, self-esteem in the youth is broken by failures. आपने कई चीजें बोली, but उसमें failure का जिक्र नहीं था. ऐसा क्यों?
Yes, it's a good question. Self-esteem can be eroded. Self-esteem can be shaken. Let us put it this way. When a person meets repeated failures, okay, and it is quite natural. As a psychologist, if you ask me that is it natural for a person to feel dejected? Yes. Is it natural for a person to feel betrayed? Sometimes yes. Is it natural for a person to feel jealous? Yes. But the proof of the pudding is that you should bounce back to your normal self as fast as possible. If you continue to be in the self-pity mode, then there is a problem. So a balanced person is one who reconciles with his situation, who accepts that yes, he failed, who analyzes it, finds the reason, and works for improvement.
Even with
But
100 times?
it can.
Even
Sorry?
with 100 failures, sir?
Well, there are people who have failed multiple times and yet they have succeeded in life. I can name some of them. KFC, read the story of the KFC famous, read his life story, you will find out how many times he failed and how many times he got up and dusted himself. You can never fail till you stop trying. Let us put it this way. You never fail till you stop trying. Once you stop trying, yes, then you have put a full stop yourself. And life was never a bed of roses. When was it?
Okay, Fair enough. I think over here, I think on the failure part, we can say the self-analysis part has came so.
Yes,
But how
self-analysis is
self-analysis be
important.
done? कैसे होती है? Is there any steps of it?
Yes, normally the simple steps and which are well known that you assess your strengths, you first try and figure out, and don't be overcritical about yourself. Some people are overcritical and they sort of curse themselves, which is not a correct thing to do. So you first analyze your strengths. You should capitalize on your strength. And at least keep that in mind that this is something which you are good at. So at least project it properly. Then come to your weaknesses. And we all know our weaknesses. Some of us don't agree or some of us don't want to accept. In that case, you require some guidance. A person himself may not be the best judge of himself. He may require some, expert guidance. That other day I was counseling a SSB student, and he was going with the impression that he is already arrived. He says, "I just want to refine myself. I'm quite okay. I do it this time." But after seeing his responses, I told him that there is an attitude issue. You don't start with the premise that you know everything. So analyze your weaknesses, capitalize your strengths, find out your opportunities, because there are multiple opportunities. And it's one cannot put all the eggs in the same basket. This question is routinely asked in the interview. What will you do if you do not qualify in this SSB? And the interviewing officer expects him to say something. Well, he can't be saying that, sir, I will go and bury my head. He has to say something more positive and say that, well, yes, I will analyze, though I am confident that I will make it. But I am determined to improve and come again if required to. But I am confident I will do it this time. So this is what we call the SWOT analysis. The last is T, that stands for threats. Because there are certain issues which one has to keep in mind. For example, some candidates are actually well prepared, confident, but at the time of the discussion, they suddenly develop cold feet. They become nervous, they have panic attacks. So if one knows that one is liable to get it, one should be forewarned about it and one should take precautions. It is a problem. It can happen with anybody. It can happen with me. It can happen with you. You suddenly go blank. Many times it happens, you're giving an examination after seeing the paper and there is darkness in front of your eyes. And you come out of the hall and say, oh, I knew the answer. But you didn't realize that you had the answer when you were inside the hall.
Fair enough, sir. Fair enough. But the self-esteem part is done. Self-analysis part is done. But the I part is left, sir. What is I there?
Okay. Okay, Shubham. What you meant by I is insight. And as I mentioned earlier, the three things which an SSB aspirant should be very conscious about: foresight, hindsight, and insight. What is insight? Insight is nothing but the ability to assess yourself in a very objective fashion. Normally, young people tend to either over-assess themselves or under-assess themselves. The majority go on the right side of over-assessing. There is a tendency to think that you are invincible. That's the age. And as they say in Hindi, garam khoon. तो जब गरम खून होता है ऐसा लगता है कि सब मैं तो दुनिया मेरे मुट्ठी में है. और ये बात नेचुरल है क्योंकि उम्र ऐसी है, आपको लगता है कि मैं कुछ भी कर सकता हूँ. So that is one example of, with an example where you are trying to over-assess yourself than the reality. So that is to be avoided. There are cases where people tend to under-assess because of self-doubt. Self-doubt is also a factor which you should avoid totally. If you keep on having self-doubt, you will never improve. So neither over-assess yourself nor under-assess. Take an objective assessment of yourself. Put your hand to the heart and say, do I really deserve this? Can I really claim to say that I have done all these things? And at the bottom of the heart, we all know where you stand. इसको हिंदी में कहते हैं कौन कितने पानी में है. अपने दिल से पूछो तो अपना ज़मीर आपको सही बताएगा कि आप कितने पानी में हो. And still, if you require assistance by a guide, don't hesitate to ask a person who can hold your hand and guide you. I have done it. Many students come for counseling, and many of them I have told you should. Why are you so inhibited? You are a capable person. You are actually putting the brakes on yourself. आप काबिल आदमी हो, आप में कुव्वत है, आप में जज्बा है, आप में काबिलियत है, लेकिन आप अपने आप को ब्रेक लगा रहे हो. क्यों कर रहे हो? बिकॉज ऑफ सेल्फ डाउट. रिमूव द सेल्फ डाउट एंड गो फॉर इट. तो कुछ हौसला अफजाई भी करनी पड़ती है कई लोगों की, और जो लोग ज्यादा हवा में उड़ रहे हैं उनको थोड़ा जमीन पर लाना पड़ता है.
ओके, फेयर एनफ सर. सर, जितनी भी बातें हमने करी हैं, दीज ऑल वर्ड्स आर फ्रॉम योर कोर्सेज. यू हैव वेरी ग्रेट गिव अ ग्रेट इनसाइट. बट मैं ना एक चीज़ अभी भी लाना चाह रहा हूँ, विच आई पर्सनली बिलीव ये हो सकता है कहीं और काम आता हो जो मैं बोलने जा रहा हूँ, बट एसएसबी में शायद ही किसी काम का है. इन योर कोर्स, इन अ पर्सनैलिटी डेवलपमेंट कोर्स, द साइकोलॉजी पार्ट कोर्स, आपने उसमें बुलाया था फैक्टर रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर सक्सेस आर 4 to 5 आर देयर. बट आई डू नॉट एग्री ऑन दैट. कैन यू जस्ट से द वर्ड्स वो कौन कौन से हैं सर? एंड आई लाइक टू जस्ट डिनाई ऑन इट. मैं बोल सकता हूँ क्यों है.
Factors responsible for success. I don't want to go by the terminology, but I will tell you what my 65 years of life has taught me. Okay. Forget about theory, forget about books, forget about guides. I will tell you what I have experienced.
Okay, sir.
Okay, hands on. Factors responsible for success is clear aim. Clear aim. First thing. If the aim is not clear, it's a non-starter. Okay. The second thing is working towards that aim and knowing what is required to achieve that aim. Majority of the cases, people are pretty confused about the aim itself. So obviously it is going to be a non-starter. Once the aim is clear, get all the information pertaining to that aim. What all is required? What all contributes towards that aim? Once you have found out, start working on it. And work on it with determination and drive. Fire in your belly. Okay. Be consistent on it. And when you actually go for the examination or the test, and if for some reason you fail, and you still want to pursue the aim, get up again and again and again and go for it again. You are bound to succeed one day.
Okay.
But during this course of this entire journey, course correction is also required. If you are able to course correct yourself, very fine. If you require assistance, don't hesitate to take assistance. But clear aim, preparation, drive and determination, these are the things which are required for success, whether it is SSB, whether it is any other walk of life. Any other walk of life.
Okay.
Determination and drive.
Great. Sir, as I said in my earlier question कि मैं इसको challenge करूँगा. And the challenge is regarding
I would love it.
SSB only.
I would love it.
So the challenge is regarding SSB only. The aim is to
Okay.
clear SSB.
Yes.
You gather the information by going coaching or by reading a book,
Okay.
which majority of people do, or by watching a video, which they are doing right now. They start the action, they start the work, but they fail. I've seen the people who has made a score of in USC, मतलब actually the topper score of written. अब मैं उनके हार्डवर्क पे सवाल कैसे उठाऊं? मुझे लगता नहीं कि यार वो ऐसा इंसान होगा जो मेहनत नहीं करता होगा. भाई TGC ऐसी टैक्स है, शायद उसने सीरियस ना निकाला हो, मैं क्वेश्चन कर सकता हूँ एक बार को. द पर्सन हु हैज क्वालिफाइड द UPSC विद ऑल हार्ड वर्क विद द ज़ील, शायद अगर एनडी की बात करें 450 500 मार्क्स मेरे लिए बड़ा मारना मुश्किल है. What it ended up.
No, it's a good question. I can understand the angst of the people who have worked very hard and yet not been able to make it. I can understand their angst. My answer is like this. The Services Selection Board is a personality evaluation. Personality has got nothing to do with your bookish knowledge. Personality has got nothing to do with your degrees. Personality has got nothing to do with how brilliant you are in your subject or in your studies. It has got everything to do with how good you are on the ground, how good you are in a team, how motivated you are, attitudinally, how acceptable you are. That is the true litmus test of a leader. When things are going fine, there is no issue. But if the leader himself gets frustrated, loses his cool and his calm, it will affect his decision making. So, attitude within a team, attitude while interacting with your superiors, peers, and subordinates matters a lot. Your own brilliance is accepted, but that is not enough to be a good leader.
Okay, that's fair enough, sir. So we came back to square one जहाँ से हमने शुरू किया था. So अभी भी आप वही कहेंगे जो आपने कहा था, homework, hard work, and all those steps.
Yes. It is actually. You might be thinking that the words are so simple that it should not carry much weight. But if you think about it, if you reflect about it, and I have taken sessions on each one of them.
That's great. And all of you can attend Sir class on an academy. Sir की special class होती है. Special class मतलब free class. And not only that, you can join him on the Plus and Iconic. Iconic में तो आप इनसे मुलाकात कर सकते हो. मैं दोबारा बोलता हूँ, Flying Officer, Flight Lieutenant, Squadron Leader, Wing Commander, Group Captain, Air Commodore. He is a very high ranking officer. और ऐसे high ranking officer से आपसे सीखने को मिलता है. That's a big thing. ये बहुत बड़ी बात है. And you do not miss the opportunity on this. And thank you so much, sir, for your great words, great wisdom. I never thought कि इतना deep में कभी सोचने को मिलेगा. Normally TED वेड SRT बात तो होती है. You give a greater different insight of it. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much, Shom. I also enjoyed the interaction, and I wish my learners all the very best. And some of them who are going for the Services Selection Board, I wish them all the best. And I would also like to tell them, one of my student from Delhi, he was not part of the Unacademy. Pahuldeep Singh, his name is Pahuldeep Singh. He is joining the academy very soon. So you have to be at it all the time, and you will succeed. Okay.
That's great, sir. Thank you so much.
So keep your spirits high, and never stop learning. That's the message I would like to give. Thank you very much. Thank you.
मैं उनको रोज सोचता हूँ, मैं उनको रोज सोचता हूँ, वो है अंतिम पगों के निशान.